Hi, readers, and welcome to week 32, day 3 of the Bible in a Year Live Project podcast. My name is Gaby.
And my name is Latoya.
We will continue our readings from the Complete Jewish Bible. Do not forget you can join us every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a live discussion on what we have read this week. The details of that Zoom meeting are in the description below, or you can find them on our website at BIAYLproject.com. Now let's dive in. 2 Chronicles 34. Yoshihayahu was 8 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 31 years in Jerusalem. He did what was right from Adonai's perspective, living entirely in the manner of David, his ancestor, and turning away neither to the right nor the left. For in the 8th year of his reign, when he was still young, he began seeking after the God of David, his father. And in the 12th year, he began cleansing Yehuda and Jerusalem from the high places, the sacred poles, and the carved and cast metal images. In his presence they broke down the altars of the Baalim, and he chopped down the pillars for sun worship mounted above them. He smashed the sacred poles and carved cast metal images, grinding them to dust, which he threw on the graves of those who had sacrificed to them. He burned the bones of the priests on their altars, thus cleansing Yehuda and Jerusalem. He did likewise in the cities of Manasseh, Ephraim, Shimon, and even as far as Naphtali. In their surrounding ruins, he broke down the altars, beat the sacred poles, and carved images to powder, and chopped down the pillars for sun worship throughout all the land of Israel. Then he returned to Jerusalem. In the 18th year of his reign, after he had cleansed the land and the house, he sent Shaphan, the son of Adzaliah, Messiah, the governor of the city, and Joach, the son of Joags, the recorder, to repair the house of Adonai his God. They went to Hilkiah, the Kohen Haggadol, and handed over to the money that had been brought to the house of God, which the Levim who guarded the doors had collected from Manasseh, Ephraim, and the rest of Israel, and all Judah and Benjamin. Then they returned to Jerusalem. They gave it to the supervisors of the work being done in the house of Adonai. And those doing the work in the house of Adonai used it to repair and restore the house. That is, they gave it to the carpenters and construction workers to purchase worked stone, timber for the cross beams, and roof beams for the houses which the kings of Judah had destroyed. The men did the work faithfully. Their supervisors were Yat and Obadiah Levin. From the descendants of Merari, also Zechariah and Meshullam. From the descendants of Ketim, to give direction, and other Levim, all of whom could accompany singing with musical instruments. They supervised those carrying the loads and everyone doing any kind of work. And there were also Levim who were secretaries, officials, and gatekeepers. While bringing out the money that had been brought to the house of Adonai, Hilkiah, the Kohen, found the scroll of the Torah of Adonai given by Moshe. Hilkiah said to Shaphan the secretary, "I have found the scroll of the Torah in the house of Adonai." Hilkiah gave the scroll to Shaphan. Shaphan the secretary brought the scroll to the king. Turning to the king, he gave him this report. Your servants are doing everything you ordered them to do. They have poured out the money found in the house of Adonai and handed it over to the supervisors and workers. Then Shaphan the secretary told the king, Hilkiah, the Kohen Haggadol, gave me a scroll. Shaphan read it out loud before the king. After the king had heard what was written in the Torah, he tore his clothes. Then the king issued this order to Hilkiah. Akicham, the son of Shaphan, Avdon, the son of Micah, Shaphan, the secretary, and Asaiah, the king's servant. Go and consult Adonai for me and for the people left in Israel. In Judah, in regard to what is written in this scroll, which has been found, for Adonai must be furious at us. Since our ancestors did not observe the word of Adonai and do everything written in his scroll, so Hilkiah and those the king had ordered went to Huldah the prophet, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tokhat, the son of Hazrat, keeper of the wardrobe. She lived in the second quarter of Jerusalem and spoke with her about this. She told them, Adonai, the God of Israel, says to tell the man who sent you to me, that Adonai says this, I am going to bring calamity on this place and on its inhabitants. All the curses written in the scroll they read to the king of Judah, because they have abandoned me and offered to other gods in order to provoke me with everything they do. Therefore my anger is poured out on this place and will not be quenched. But you are to tell the king of Judah, who sent you, consult to Adonai, that Adonai, the God of Israel, also says this. In regard to the words you have heard, because your heart was tender and you humbled yourself before God, when you heard his words against this place and its inhabitants, you humbled yourself before me, tore your clothes, and cried before me. I have also heard you, says Adonai. Here, I will gather you to your ancestors. You will go to your grave in peace, and your eyes will not see all the calamity that I'm going to bring on this place and its inhabitants. So they brought back word to the king. Then the king summoned and assembled all the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem. The king went up to the house of Adonai with all the men of Judah, those living in Jerusalem, the Kohanim, the Levim, and all the people, both great and small. And he read in their hearing everything written in the scroll of the covenant that had been found in the house of Adonai. The king stood in his place and made a covenant in the presence of Adonai to live following Adonai, observing his mitzvot, instructions and laws wholeheartedly and with all his being, so as to perform the words of the covenant written in this scroll. Then after he had all the people in Jerusalem and Benjamin stand in affirmation of it, the inhabitants of Jerusalem acted in accordance with the covenant of God, the God of their ancestors. Yoshiyahu removed all the ab- abominable idols from all the territories belonging to the people of Israel. And he made everyone in Israel serve Adonai, their God, through his lifetime. They did not stop following Adonai, the God of their ancestors. 2 Chronicles 35. Yoshiyahu kept Pesach to Adonai in Jerusalem, They slaughtered the Pesach lamb on the 14th day of the first month. He assigned to the Kohanim to their posts and encouraged them to perform the service of the house of Adonai. To Levim, who were teaching all Israel and were holy for Adonai, he said, "Put the holy ark in the house which Shlomo, the son of David, king of Israel, built after this. You will not have to carry it again. Now serve Adonai your God and his people Israel. Organize yourselves by clans and duty divisions according to the arrangement written down by David, king of Israel, and Shlomo his son. Stand in the holy place according to the divisions of the clan of your kinsmen, the ordinary people. With part of a clan of Levim serving each clan of Israel. Then slaughter the Pesach lamb. Concentrate yourselves, prepare what your kinsmen need, and act according to the word of Adonai given through Moshe. Yoshehu gave the ordinary people to all who were present 30,000 lambs and kids from the flock, all of them for Pesach offerings, and 3,000 bulls. These were from the king's personal property. Also, his leading men voluntarily gave to the people and to the Kohanim and Levim. Hilkiah, Zechariah, and Yichel, the rulers of the house of God, gave the Kohanim 2,600 lambs and kids, and 300 oxen for Pesach offerings. Konah, his brothers Shemaiah and Nethiel, and Hashaviah, Yael, and Yozavad, the head of Levim, gave the Levim 5,000 lambs and kids, and 500 oxen for Pesach offerings. So the service was prepared, the Kohanim stood their posts, and the Levim worked in their divisions, in keeping with the king's order. They slaughtered the Pesach lamb. The Kohanim splashed the blood which they received from the Levim, and the Levim skinned and butchered them. They removed the portions to be burned in order to give them to the divisions of the clans of the ordinary people to present to Adonai. As written in the scroll of Moshe, they did the same with the oxen. They roasted the Pesach lamb over the fire, according to the rule, while they boiled the holy offerings in pots, kettles, and pans, and carried them quickly to all the ordinary people. Afterward, they prepared food for themselves and for the Kohanim, because the Kohanim, the descendants of Aaron, were busy till nightfall, offering the fat and the portions to be burned up. This is why the Levim prepared food for both themselves and for the Kohanim, the descendants of Aaron. The singers, the sons of Asaph, were at their posts, as ordered by David, Asaph, Heman, and Yedutun, the king's seer. The gatekeepers were at every gate, and they did not need to leave their posts, because their brothers the Levim prepared food for them. Thus all the service of Adonai was prepared the same day for observing Pesach and offering burnt offerings on the altar of Adonai. In accordance with the order of King Yeshu, the people of Israel who were present observed the Pesach at the time in the festival of Matzot for 7 days. No Pesach like that had been kept in Israel since the days of Shemuel the prophet, and none of the kings of Israel observe a Pesach, such as Yeshu observed with the Kohanim, Levim, all Yehuda, those of Israel who were present, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. This Pesach was observed in the 18th year of Yeshu. After this, and Yeshu restored the house, Nicole, king of Egypt, went up to attack Carchemish by the Euphrates River. King Yushawu went out to oppose him, but Necho sent envoys to him with this message: Do I have a conflict with you, king of Judah? No, I am not coming today to attack you, but to attack the dynasty with whom I am at war. God has ordered to speed me along so I don't meddle with God, who who is with me, so that he won't destroy you. Nevertheless, Yeshu was determined to go after him. He disguised himself in order to fight against him and wouldn't listen to what Necho said, which was from the mouth of God. Then he went to fight in the Megiddo Valley. Their archers shot King Oyushiwu. The king said to his servants, "Take me away, as I am badly wounded." So his servants took him out of the chariot, transferred him to his second chariot, and brought him to Yeshurun. But he died, and he was buried in the tombs of his ancestors, all Judah and Yeshurun mourned Yeshua. Yirmeyahu composed a lament for Yeshiahu, and all the men and women singers have sung of Yeshua in their laments till this day. They made singing them a, a law in Israel, and they are recorded in the laments. Other activities of Yeshua and all his good deeds in keeping in what is written in Torah of Adonai. Also, his accomplishments from beginning to end are recorded in the annals of the king of Israel and Judah.
2 Kings 22. Yeshua was 8 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 31 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Yedada, the daughter of Adiah from Botzkat. He did what was right from Adonai's perspective, living entirely in the manner of David his ancestor, and turning away neither to the right or to the left. In the 18th year of King Yeshua, the king sent Shaphan, the son of Atzalihu, the son of Meshulam, the secretary, to the house of Adonai after instructing him, Go up to Hilkiah, the Kohen Haggadol, and have him total the money that has been brought into the house of Adonai, which the doorkeepers have collected from the people. Then have them give it to the supervisors of the work being done in the house of Adonai. They in turn are to use it to pay the laborers in the house of Adonai to repair damaged places in the building, the carpenters, construction workers, and stonemasons, and to purchase timber and worked stone for doing the repairs on the building. However, they did not require an accounting from the supervisors given the money to spend because they dealt honestly. Hilkiah the Kohen Haggadol said to Shaphan the secretary, I have found the scroll of the Torah in the house of Adonai. Hilkiah gave the scroll to Shaphan, who read it. Then Shaphan the secretary went back to the king and gave the king this report. Your servants have poured out the money found in the house and handed it over to the people, supervising the work in the house of Adonai. Shaphan the secretary also told the king, Hilkiah the Kohen Haggadol gave me a scroll. Then Shaphan read it aloud before the king. After the king had heard what was written in the scroll of the Torah, he tore his clothes. Then the king issued this order to Hilkiah the Kohen, Achim the son of Shaphan, Achbor the son of Micaiah, Shaphan the secretary, and Asaiah the king's servant. Go and consult Adonai for me, for the people, and for all Judah, in regard to what is written in this scroll which has been found. For Adonai must be furious at us, since our ancestors did not listen to the words written in this scroll and didn't do everything written there that concerns us. So Hilkiah the Kohen, Hakaim, Akbor, Shaphan, and Asaiah went to Huldah the prophet, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikvah, the son of Harkas, keeper of the wardrobe. She lived in the second quarter of Jerusalem and spoke with her. She told them, Adonai, the God of Israel, says to tell the man who sent you to me that Adonai says this: I am going to bring calamity on this place and on its inhabitants. Every word in the scroll the king of Judah has read, because they have abandoned me and offered to other gods in order to provoke me with everything they do. Therefore, my anger will burn against this place and will not be quenched. But you are to tell the king of Judah, who sent you to consult Adonai, that Adonai, the God of Israel, also says this: in regards to the words you have heard, because your heart was tender, and because you humbled yourself before Adonai, when you heard what I said against this place and its inhabitants, that they would become an object of astonishment and cursing, and have torn your clothes and cried before me, I have also heard you, says Adonai. Therefore, I will gather you to your ancestors. You will go to your grave in peace, and your eyes will not see all the calamity I'm going to bring on this place. So they brought back word back to the king. Second Kings chapter 23. Then the king summoned all the leaders of Judah and Jerusalem, and they assembled with him. The king went up to the house of Adonai with all the men of Judah, all those living in Jerusalem, the Kohanim, the prophets, and all the people, both small and great. And he read in their hearing everything written in the scroll of the covenant that had been found in the house of Adonai. The king stood on the platform and made a covenant in the presence of Adonai to live following Adonai, observing his mitzvot, instructions, and regulations wholeheartedly and with all his being, so as to confirm the words of the covenant written in this scroll. All the people stood, pledging themselves to keep the covenant. Then the king ordered Hilkiah, the Kohen Haggadol, the Kohanim of the second rank, and the doorkeepers to remove from the sanctuary of Adonai all the articles that had been made for Baal, for the Asherah, and for the entire army of heaven. And he burned them up outside Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron and carried their ashes to Beit El. He deposed the idolatrous priests the kings of Judah had ordained to offer on high places by the cities of Judah and in the places surrounding Jerusalem. He also deposed those who offered to Baal, the sun, the moon, the constellations, and the whole army of heaven. He took the Asherah from the house of Adonai to Vadi Kidron outside Jerusalem and burned it in Vadi Kidron, stamped the ashes to powder and threw the powder onto the burial ground for the common people. He smashed the houses of the cult prostitutes that were in the house of Adonai, where the women also wove garments for the Asherah. He removed the Kohanim from the cities of Judah. Then from Giva to Beersheba, he desecrated the high places where the Kohanim had been making offerings. He also smashed the high places of the gates that were at the entrance of the gate of Joshua, the governor of the city, on the left as one enters the city. But although the Kohanim who had been at the high places did not come up to the altar of Adonai in Jerusalem, nevertheless they did share matzah with their kinsmen. He desecrated the Tophet fire pit in the Ben Hinnom valley, so that no one could cause their son or daughter to pass through the fire as a sacrifice to Molech. He confiscated the horses which the kings of Judah had given to the son at the entrance of the house of Adonai near the room of the officer Nathan Melech in the side courtyard, and he burned up the chariots of the sun. The king smashed the altars on the roof of the upper room of Achaz, which the kings of Judah had made, and the altars which Manasseh had made in the two courtyards of the house of Adonai. He broke them into pieces and threw the rubble into Vadi Kidron. The king desecrated the high places facing Jerusalem south of the Mount of Destruction, which Shlomo, the king of Israel, had built for Ashtoreth, the abomination of the Sidonim, Cumosh, the abomination of Moab, Milcom, the abomination of the people of Ammon. He smashed the standing stones, chopped down the sacred poles, and covered their remains with human bones. He smashed the altar that was at Beit El and the high place made by Yarovaim, the son of Nevat, who caused Israel to sin. Yes, he smashed that altar and the high place. He burnt the high place, stamped the ashes to powder, and burnt up the Asherah. Then, as Yoshiahu was turning around, he noticed the burial caves that were there on the mountain. So he sent and had the bones taken out of the burial caves and burnt them on the altar, thus desecrating it, in keeping with the word of Adonai, which the man of God had proclaimed, foretelling that these things would happen. Then he asked, "This monument here that I'm looking at, what is it?" The men of the city told him, "It marks the burial cave of the man of God who came from Judah and foretold the very things you have done to the altar of Beit El." He replied, "Let him be. No one is to move his bones." So they left his bones undisturbed, along with the bones of the prophet who had come from Shamron. Yeshua also removed all the shrines of the high places in the cities of Shomron, which the kings of Israel had made in order to provoke Adonai to anger, and treated them the same as in BIAYL. He put to death all the priests of those high places on the altars there, then burned human bones on them. Finally, he returned to Jerusalem. The king issued this order to all the people: "Observe Pesach to Adonai your God, as written in this scroll of the covenant. For Pesach had not been observed since the days when the judges ruled Israel, not during the times of any of the kings of Israel, the kings of Judah. But in the 18th year of King Yoshiahu, this Pesach was offered to Adonai in Jerusalem." Yoshiahu got rid of the mediums and the people using spirit guides, as well as the household gods, the idols, and all the disgusting things spotted anywhere in Judah and Jerusalem. He did this in order to establish the words of the Torah written in the scroll Hilkiah the Kohen had found in the house of Adonai. No previous king was like him, because he turned to Adonai with all his heart, with all his being, and with all his power, in accordance with all the Torah of Moshe. Nor did any king like him arise afterwards. Nevertheless, Adonai did not turn away from his fiercely raging, furious anger that burned against Judah because of all the things Manasseh had done to provoke him. Adonai said, "Just as I removed Israel, I will also remove Judah out of my sight, and I will reject this city which I chose, Jerusalem, and the house concerning which I said, my name will be there." Other activities of Yeshayahu and all his accomplishments are recorded in the annals of the kings of Judah. During this time, Prophet Necho, king of Egypt, went up toward the Euphrates River to attack the king of Ashur. King Josiah went out to oppose him, but at Megiddo, Pharaoh spotted Yeshayahu and killed him. His servants carried his dead body from Megiddo to Jerusalem in a chariot and burned him in his own tomb. The people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Yahshayu, anointed him and made him king in his father's place. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 3 months in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah from Livna. He did what was evil from Adonai's perspective, following the example of everything from his ancestors had done. Pharaoh Necho imprisoned him at Rivlah in the land of Hamath so that he would not be able to rule in Jerusalem. He also imposed a penalty on the land of 3¼ tons of silver and 66 pounds of gold. Then Pharaoh Necho made Eliakim, the son of Eshiatu, king in place of Yoshiu, his father, and changed his name to Jehoiakim. He also carried Jehoahaz off to Egypt, where he died. Jehoiakim remitted the silver and gold to Pharaoh, but in order to pay the money Pharaoh demanded, he had to levy a tax on the land. He taxed the people of the land, each according to his means, to pay the silver and gold to Pharaoh Necho. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began his reign, and he ruled for 11 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zivuda, the daughter of Pedaiah from Rumah. He did what was evil from the perspective of Adonai, following the example of everything his ancestors had done.